Dozens gathered at Redstone Arsenal's Visitor Center this morning to unveil a historic marker to commemorate NASA and the 50th anniversary of Marshall Space Flight Center's formal dedication by President Dwight Eisenhower on September 8, 1960.
I grew up here, just in a stone's throw of the Arsenal. In the 60s, all of us remember the kind of music that we had back in the 60s that's memorable today. But what we remember here was the rocket testing of the Saturn. The dishes in the kitchen would rattle, things like that. All of us remember that. And nowadays, looking on the history of Marshall Space Flight Center and what's been accomplished, we know that was the real music of the 60s.
That's Alabama Senator Tom Butler, one of the many speakers invited to take part in the ceremony. Among those in attendance were Marshall Space Flight Center's director, Robert Lightfoot, NASA Associate Deputy Administrator Charles Scales, Representative Parker Griffith, Dr. Werner von Braun's personal secretary, Bonnie Holmes, as well as Madison Mayor Paul Finley and Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle, who made this proclamation.
Marshall Space Flight Center, 40 years ago, mankind's greatest scientific achievement when we landed a man on the moon, and it's a place that has made history time and time again. So therefore, on behalf of the Madison County Commission and the Huntsville City Council and the Huntsville City Mayor's Office, the Madison Mayor's Office, and the Madison City Council, we want to name today Marshall Space Flight Center Day in Huntsville, Madison, and Madison County, Alabama. Thank you.
The marker unveiled today is part of Alabama Department of Tourism's Year of Small Towns and Downtowns program. 215 markers will be placed across the state this year to help recognize communities, institutions, and events that shape the state's culture and heritage. Marshall Director Robert Lightfoot.
Marshall is a unique addition to this series of historical markers that includes farms and steel towns, churches and baseball fields, railroad depots and NASCAR legends, cotton farmers and war heroes, fires and floods, Civil War and civil rights. Our great accomplishments have been built on the extraordinary work of the previous generations. The men and women before us overcame many challenges in the pursuit of human and scientific exploration. But I want you to know we have a lot more history to make. The employees of Marshall Space Flight Center remain as dedicated today as they were 50 years ago. This marker will help tell and honor the Marshall story to all who see it.
More events are scheduled this afternoon, mainly for Marshall's employees. A team aerial photo shoot is planned. It will include key Marshall Center leaders, civil service employees, retirees, and contractors to honor NASA's work of generations. For WLRH, I'm Bobby Mill.